Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take
we're
a
trying
look.
to, can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to this.
Yeah, it's like Andy McCabe telling us the FBI wasn't biased when they did the Trump-Russia investigation. I mean, come on. I mean, they said the most secure election in American history. There are 73 million Americans who disagree with that statement. And so why don't we just do this, Lou? Why don't we let the process work? Why don't we let the law work? Why don't we follow the Constitution? We got 27 days until the Electoral College meets. So let's just let this play out. Today in Georgia, you had 2 counties. Now there are 159 counties in Georgia. You had 2 of them today. Just, Shazam, we found votes. We've had missing memory cards. There were votes, and both of them were to the benefit of President Trump. So what's the rush? We had 4 years of the phony Russia hoax investigation. What's wrong with 4 weeks of investigating this election with all the irregularities in all these key swing states? Let's just let the process play out. I think that is just common sense, and the vast majority, I think, of Americans get it. The only ones who don't are the mainstream media, big tech, and Democrats in Washington, D.C. The rest of the country gets it. Let the process work. Same people who tell us to trust the vote now are the ones who told us to trust the Steele dossier. We know how phony that was. They're the same people who told us to trust the anonymous whistleblower, the impeachment whistleblower that no one got to interview, that I didn't get to cross-examine, which I'd have loved to have done. And now they're saying, oh, you can trust us, the vote's fine, and we got this agency saying the most secure in history. No one's buying it. That's why we have a Constitution, we have a process, we have a law. That's why we should follow it.
Yeah. Oh, Trump. You gotta do what you gotta do. Fuck Trump. I've got around 80.
You can't always tell everything that's going on right up front, because if you tell everything that's going on right up front, then your enemy is going to know exactly what you're doing.
I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
So yeah, we have a bigger issue than just Democrats. We have an issue of the American indoctrinated people that just let things like this go. It's been happening for years and years and years, and frankly, I'm sick of it. And so I'm just telling you, they're telling you, and they've been telling you this stuff in front of your face for a really long time.
Our own government working against us. I mean, we've always had the government working against us. We just didn't know it. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's April of June. And I see some people that were on the podcast a long time ago now have rejoined us. And I also noticed that some of my moderators that are in the room still have their little wrenches. I didn't even have to redo all that. So YouTube has brought my channel back, which is amazing in itself. And some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today is exactly why they put strikes on my channel. So since they did that letter to Congress saying that they were pressured by the Biden administration and other entities to censor people, I'm not really that worried about telling you the truth. I mean, they're literally recycling the same stuff that I said back in I don't know, 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, whatever. Okay. All of the things that I said are now being validated, bringing out the stuff that I said. Okay. So this really kind of makes me mad for two reasons. One, I'm demonetized. I'm literally demonetized for no reason whatsoever, because there's other people online saying the same thing I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe I just say it better. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is where I have to be demonetized and the rest of them don't. That tells you that there's already a problem to begin with. In fact, my American Matters radio show channel, which is now on YouTube as well, broadcasting there too. The only thing that was on there wasn't my show. It was actually all the voter fraud. And I still have all those videos. Yeah. Yeah. I do think that I'm the most censored person it just doesn't even make any sense. So now we're going to talk about the same stuff that we talked about before, but now that it's coming to light, maybe more people will pay attention, because there was a 2020 election hoax, and that the fraud was so rampant, it's ridiculous. And I had all that stuff, and I'm still going to put all that stuff on. I had all the things about Dominion, which I don't know if you know this or not, but Dominion now, the Dominion voting systems is now owned by a Republican. I don't even think that's going to be better. Okay. I don't think it's going to be better because both sides are rigged, for one thing. I think this is totally orchestrated to take this Dominion and put it in a Republican realm so that we can all go, oh yeah, sure. That's great. But the problem is not the machines themselves as far as the voting, casting the vote. It's the tabulators. And I have not come across hardly any Republicans who will literally get it through their head that go ahead and do paper ballots. Sure, let's have a little parade. We'll all get in line. Same day ballots. Good. And let's put them through that machine called the tabulator. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems pretty stupid. So it doesn't make any sense to me why we think we're doing something better, because we're not doing something better. Here in California, they have holes in the envelopes. I know. I'm going to play that video for you in just a minute. But before I do, what I want to do first is I want to put up this 2000 Mules video. You guys, if you didn't see 2000 Mules, it's Dinesh D'Souza. You need to watch it. It's like so obvious.
The most secure in U.S. history.
This is the trailer for Dinesh D'Souza.
There has been no evidence of widespread voter fraud.
None whatsoever.
He lost a fair and secure election.
Sure.
The most secure election in American history.
Fired.
Really?
All those of you who volunteered and worked the polls,
ballot stuffing.
You deserve a special thanks from the entire nation.
Never. Now, at the time, this was never seen before. Cell phone geo-tracking. See, sometimes the data does come in handy.
This one mule made 53 trips to 20 drop boxes. He's not alone. We tracked 2,000 mules making multiple ballot drops.
You know what? I'm going to tell you what a mule is, because some people in here might not know what a mule is. A mule is somebody who's hired to do something, to carry something somewhere, usually something that's illegal. Like, I don't know, from Stacey Abrams' office, I don't know how many times to go get more ballots to stuff in the ballot box. Yeah, Stacey Abrams. It's in this movie. Remember the loudmouth blowhard? I'm not going to concede that I lost the election.
Leaving no fingerprints.
Where
Snapping
was?
photos to get
Make sure you take a photo so we can take
a
it.
coordinated ring of illegal vote harvesting in all the key states where the election was decided.
They've delivered us a clear
Let's
victory.
see here, folks.
Game over.
Yeah. Are you seriously kidding me? Now, see, this is what I don't understand and really makes me mad. During this whole thing, so we had Rudy Giuliani, we had Sidney Powell, big attorneys, tons of evidence, know exactly how to file a suit. And yet the court system was rigged so that every single one of the suits were thrown out, with the exception of probably a few. As if nothing to see here, folks. Does that not tell you that the court system is corrupt? Sitting here and saying that all of the evidence, all of the hours and hours and hours of testimony from eyewitnesses who saw the voter fraud. Nothing to see here, folks. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you seriously kidding me right now? So here we are in 2025, almost to 2026, and we're just supposed to take these people's words for it. The ballots need to be hand counted at the polling places. I know. And there is I've been an election judge, all right? There is no reason why those votes cannot be counted at the end of the time and certified by those e-judges there. Because I did a study when I was trying to figure out, is it so impossible? Because just so you know, Jay Ashcroft, who used to be Secretary of State in the state of Missouri, thank God he's defeated, but who knows if it's better, said, well, we just can't have people at the polling stations counting those votes. They're just too tired by the end of the day. Excuse me, Jay. And I said this to him. Excuse me, at the end of the night, what we're supposed to do, is we count the ballots that weren't used and reconcile with the ones that were to make sure that the numbers match. So that if you gave me 100 ballots, that I have to say, okay, we used 55 and I have 45 left. Those two figures better match, and I'm supposed to sign off on that. So you're telling me that after I know, because I've been there, am too tired to, at the end of the night, count the vote at the voting station, because the most amount of votes that were cast in one polling station, that's not even per precinct. Because I don't know if you know this, but at the precincts themselves, at the polling stations, it's actually divided into precincts. So there's 2 e-judges for that precinct, 2 for that, 2 for that, 2 for that. You might have one polling station, but you got multiple precincts with people there that are in charge of their precinct. And they come in, they scan their ID, except for in California, all you have to do is say, wink and a prayer, I'm in. Doesn't matter. Unless, of course, you're white. Then it matters. You better be handing me your ID. And then they're told, you go to this table, you go to that table, you go to this table, whatever. Here's your ballot. You go to that precinct. So you see what I'm saying? If those people at those tables aren't able to count the amount of people that come for that precinct, you better get some new people who actually know how to use math, who are not schooled in Common Core. Just saying. So I did this study, and I found that in Kansas City, Missouri, Jackson County, I should say Jackson County, the most ballots that were cast at one time in Jackson County in a polling station, not a precinct, were 2,000. Okay, so are you telling me that people who are at a polling station are incapable of counting 2,000? Sure, there was more questions on the ballot than just president. I get that. I understand that completely. However, if it comes down to where we have to limit the amount of things that are on that ballot so that we can get a free and fair election, well, that's what you got to do. So if your people can only count to 5, whatever, fine. And they should be tallying up and signing those ballots. And the reason they should be signing those ballots is because people who are at those polling stations, if they are doing something wrong, they're not going to want to sign it. I can tell you the first time that I ever went to a polling station, okay, I was very shocked because, as an e-judge, I was shocked because the person that was with me, that was sitting right next to me, I already knew she was a Republican. And I thought, wait a minute, you're supposed to have a Democrat and a Republican, a Democrat and a independent, a Republican and an independent, or something like that. Okay. It's not supposed to be 2 people who are Republicans or 2 people who are Democrats, whatever. That's a good headline you got there. Thanks. Yeah. Cause we're talking about this election hoax, because it was a hoax. It was a lie and a capital con, because the feds and Antifa are the ones who started the instigation, carried out the insurrection, which there wasn't even really an insurrection. It was just a handful of treasonous people trying to overthrow the government. Thank God we have it back, I think. A friend of mine was actually, Brian told me this earlier. He said a friend of mine was actually there on January 6th, and I witnessed people getting off of buses and pulling on Trump MAGA gear before heading to the Capitol to protest. And he has that in quotation marks if you didn't see that. This whole entire thing is an orchestrated show before your eyes. So here we have a rigged election, and you can't question that, because if you question that, how dare you? This whole thing. That was the whole entire thing of January 6th. Was like, we saw this voter fraud, which I'm going to show you some of it. Ooh, YouTube. You might want to just hide your eyes. If you can't handle the truth, hide your eyes. Okay. This was real time stuff that people were putting and posting at the time of the ballot counting back in November. Okay. 2020. This was before January 6th. And that's why January 6th even happened, because people were going, how outrageous for me to sign up to be a poll watcher or a poll challenger, because you can challenge the votes. If you see something, you go, I don't think that looks kosher. I want to challenge that vote right there. They can do that. Well, see, how dare you ask or challenge a Democrat? How dare you do that? And some Republicans are the same way. I know some Republicans like that. In fact, unfortunately, in Missouri, we have them in the Senate. I'm going to say Senate. Qualify that, because it's just a show. It's just a show. I worked with a lady that was calling the January 6th protests an insurrection. When I asked her who got arrested for an insurrection, she stormed off. Yeah, because nobody did. Nobody did. This is the thing with the liberals, the Democrats, their little minion puppets that run around with signs, standing on the streets. You go up to them and you say, what exactly are you protesting? They don't know. Most of them don't even know. When you ask them, hey, can you tell me exactly what you're talking about? Your sign there says that Trump's a fascist, a Nazi, whatever. What evidence do you have of that? Well, it's right in front of your face. Isn't that what Adam Schiff says? It's right there. It's so blatant. Blatant fraud, but we couldn't believe our lying eyes. I know. When you're standing right there. Let me show you some of this video. And I have a lot of it. I want to show you this. Let's do, I think the election has some stuff right here. No, I think I want to do it this way. Yeah. This is interesting video right here. I think I'll show you this one. I don't know if you can hear it, but can you see how many ballots this guy has? Thanks for the 7 extra ballots, California. Seriously? Yeah, that's one. I mean, really? That's just one. Let's see. Here's one. This is where the here's an election worker. He's getting mad.
What's going on here?
We're supposed to be counting the ballots.
Fit about something.
To see what's happening here is Trump's getting more ballot than the vegetable.
Flips off a ballot.
See?
And then crumples it up.
See, that's somebody's ballot.
That's not voter fraud. I don't know what is.
Well, apparently that ain't it, according to the left. Yeah, let me see. Let me see this. Here's another one. There was here's one. This is a good one.
My name is Brian McCaffrey. I'm a registered Democrat in the city of Philadelphia.
Democrat.
Today, I'm at the Philadelphia Convention Center, and I am overseeing the ballot counters. I will let you know the corruption that is going on here. They will not allow us within 30 to 100 feet to supervise the ballots being counted. This is a coup against the President of the United States of America, and I want to call out the Mayor of Philadelphia, James Kenney, the Attorney General, Josh Shapiro, who tweeted that there's no way Donald Trump can win President of the United States of America, and also the District Attorney of Philadelphia, Larry Krasner. I can't believe what I'm seeing right before my eyes. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden or Donald Trump. This has to do with our democracy, and I will tell you, there is corruption at the highest level in the city of Philadelphia.
That's a Democrat. That wasn't even a Republican. See, this is what I'm saying. It is not just one side that's getting ripped off. It's everybody's getting ripped off. And to allow it to continue is just outrageous. Here's some more. Here's another one. Let's see what she has to say.
The Baxter, Mr. Baxter, whatever, had to go to the head guy because I want to see every one of those ballots, copy them down, copy down the precinct because they don't show up on any list. So I just grabbed one box. It's 500 names of people that are not on a registered, they're not on the supplement list.
Were you in there?
She was in here this morning. She said it's no, I've been in there all day. I just left.
And so why won't they let anybody interview?
Their capacity. They said there's capacity. In the morning, you could just walk right in. So I trained to walk right in.
Because of COVID, they're saying capacity?
We all have masks on.
No,
we'll put our masks on.
I think it's the poll workers don't like us there. And they're very rude.
But you're allowed legally to go. It doesn't say there's capacity.
That's why we have the Supreme Court order.
And not to let us in the building?
Not to let you in the building. It's bizarre.
Because this building is not a capacity.
And there's those of us that leave. Like a few people.
See, she's telling you. She's literally telling you. Now, she's from California, so she doesn't know that we don't have a democracy, that we have a republic. But Jimmy is absolutely right. We have a republic, supposedly. I mean, do we? It's hard to tell now. Isn't it? Isn't it kind of hard to tell right now what we actually have? And the reason I'm saying that is because for some reason, I just don't feel like we have anything right now. I think the coup, Donald Trump is there. This I know. But what's actually happening? A constitutional republic, but they've got everyone rooting for democracy. I know. That's because this is what happens. They say it over and over and over and over again until people start thinking it's true. And it's not true. And I've said this many, many, many times. Even Tucker Carlson says the same exact thing. Let's see. That one was in California. This one is Michigan.
So I'm in downtown Detroit at the TCF Center, which is in the heart of Detroit, in the heart of the D.
After I uploaded her video.
I had a couple of people reach out to me and say, could you do another Facebook Live and explain that and why you're here? You can see behind me, that giant room behind me is where they are contesting ballots. So something that's very interesting that happened here in Detroit is, I just talked to a guy that's been here all night. They were ready to shut down the precinct. They had counted all the ballots. Everything was good. Everything went smoothly. And then it was at about 4 a.m. that 3 vehicles arrived. A van, a Chrysler 300, and a Ferrari with 130,000 plus ballots.
130,000 plus.
He said he was astonished as they started counting the ballots. He was astonished that every single ballot, like literally 100% of that 130,000 ballots were all Biden ballots that hadn't been delivered to the precinct before.
Statistically speaking,
the cutoff time for this precinct. So obviously there's, that's just a big irregularity, something that points to large-scale voter fraud, and it literally is being contested by the President of the United States in a lawsuit right now for the state of Michigan. We literally have people that watched it happen. I talk to people that are here, they're like, what? 130,000 ballots that haven't been verified, that are just being taken in. We have poll challengers that have been barred from being able to go into this room.
How dare you do your job?
Ballots. We've had GOP members removed from the room.
Did you know that there are some states that won't even allow the Republican representative, whether it's state or house, to even participate in any of the meetings whatsoever? None. Zero. They're not even on any committees. There's like 2 or 3 states like that up in the north. I want to say it's like Delaware or something like that, but it's up there.
You're allowed to have a certain number depending on the number of precincts. I think it's 134 precincts that we have in Michigan, or excuse me, not in Michigan, in this particular county, Wayne County, Michigan. And we probably have maybe 50 to 60 representatives that have been allowed to go in to challenge. Mind you, according to federal law, for each precinct, there is to be 1 Democrat, 1 Republican to challenge.
1 Democrat, 1 Republican per federal law.
That hasn't been allowed in 24, well, actually since like this morning.
Yeah. See, this is a huge, huge issue. And when they struck down Sidney Powell's lawsuits and Rudy Giuliani, they actually disbarred Rudy Giuliani, and I believe they disbarred Sidney Powell also for no reason. This is such a rigged system, and it's all because of the Bar Association. Okay, it's all because of the Bar Association. Because the Bar Association has installed themselves in the judges' positions, in the attorneys' positions. They've written all the laws. They're the ones who are manipulating every single thing. And I have video of the lawyers coming out and telling people that they needed to get out and saying, no. Yeah, I realize that you're here to challenge stuff, but we don't need you. Yeah, it's the attorneys. And who's sitting in the political positions? The attorneys. So yeah, it's a total scam all the way across. Okay, now I'm going to bring you this other video, which I think is very interesting. And it has to do with the ballots. Okay, this is, we found this out in Colorado, that there is a little hole on the back of the ballot so that they can figure out whether or not it's Republican or Democrat. But this one, look at this one. This is about the recall of Gavin Newsom.
No. Envelope.
See that little hole?
In the envelope. Look at that. Look at that. They can tell exactly who voted no.
So turn it around.
Yeah.
Make sure you turn it around.
There you go.
That's exactly what they do in the state of Colorado. They can tell whether or not it's a Republican or a Democrat ballot by those holes in the back. Okay. And people think that my neighbor wouldn't do that to me. Okay. Let me tell you something. So as an e-judge, and my father was a supervisor judge, we weren't at the same place at the same time. He was in one spot, I was in another. You would not believe the amount of Christians that you go to church with that come in and ask for Democrat ballots and vote for abortion. So don't tell me that, but my neighbor would never do that. Your neighbor would do that, does do that. I've seen them do it. People that I never thought would basically be two-faced backstabbers. In front of your face, they say one thing, and then behind your back, they go do something else. Because you know who they are at the polling stations. So just because somebody says they're a Christian doesn't mean they are. Just because somebody says they're a Republican doesn't mean they are. Because when you get up to that polling station, you can ask for whatever ballot you want. You can only get one, but unless, of course, you're in California, you can say, can I have 10 of those? I want to take them home to the troops. Now, Charlie Kirk's situation, they're aiming for combining church and state theosophy. Well, there's no separation of church and state, you know. So I don't know what that means. They intended to destroy everyone that questioned them. I know. I was like, hey, the problem is if there's any voter fraud, it doesn't even have to be tons, just some. That invalidates the whole thing. And now we know from analytics and people who've studied this stuff and, really gone in depth, that it's in every single county but 3. That was from Dr. Frank, he's a really good friend of Mike Lindell. He did a lot of research. He's a mathematician, physics, actually. He does physics, I think physics. And he did this entire study of all the counties in the United States of America over a period of time. And I want to say it was a 20-year period of time, I think he said. And as he was doing this whole entire thing, all right, he noticed something very odd about the voting system, that in the red areas, what was happening is it would change over 10% every single time. Not a long thing. They're in it for the long haul, remember? So if you're deep red, that means it's going to take longer to flip your state to blue. But they're going to do it right in front of you. And if they keep saying over and over and over, propaganda of, well, this is a Democrat area. This is a Democrat dominant area. This is a Democrat run area. And pretty soon, the conservatives who live in that area are going to say, well, this is a Democrat area. So that when they turn it, you don't even notice it. It's 1984, right on the dot. They might not be saying 2 + 2 = 5, but they're saying, no, this is a Democrat run area. Now they're trying again. They try this all the time. All the time. It's the word of the day, word of the week, word of the month. Let's use that one. I mean, have you ever heard of some of the words that they're using now? I haven't. But here's their newest propaganda. This is the newest propaganda out today, and it has to do with Antifa. And it's so ridiculous.
Nobody even knows what it is. The first.
Now, I want to point this out. This is Keith Ellison. All right. Keith Con Ellison. He was if I remember correctly, he was the chair of the Democratic Party, the whole, national. Here's Keith Ellison with a anti-fascist handbook from Antifa while he's saying this today on camera.
Person I ever heard use the word Antifa was Donald J. Trump.
See, this is the difference between Republicans and Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, and liberals. When we say something, we have the goods to back it up. When they say something, it's wild crap that it's like they fling it somewhere and hope that it sticks. This guy is literally holding a handbook from Antifa saying, I've never heard of them. The first time I ever heard of them was from Donald Trump. The first time we ever heard of them was from you guys.
Nobody even knows what it is. The first person I ever heard use the word Antifa was Donald J. Trump.
I cannot believe that his pants are not on fire and his nose isn't super long.
When he was going on about how there were good people on both sides in Charlottesville.
I cannot stand liars. I can't. Continue, Mr. Liar, pants on fire.
That's the first time I ever heard anyone use the term. So now it's this amorphous thing. And if nobody's really Antifa, then everybody could be. And the reason you can't find them is because they're just that crafty.
I would sure like to know what MSNBC thinks of this video right here with Keith Ellison holding the Antifa handbook while he's talking on here, because obviously MSNBC, who is another shill, talking puppets, they obviously didn't have this side by side, because I would have said, well, what about this? What about this post that you made where you're actually holding up the handbook and you don't know who they are?
So the fact that there is nobody even knows what it is. The first person I ever heard Trump, Charlottesville. That's the amorphous thing. And if nobody's really Antifa, then everybody could be. And the reason you can't find them is because they're just that crafty.
Said the crafty one. Yeah. I can't even tell you how stupid that is. Now look at this. Look at this. This is
Antifa. This is an entirely imaginary organization. There is not an Antifa.
Like, I don't even know what Antifa is. There is no group.
It's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Compared to right-wing extremists, Antifa-linked violence is rare and limited.
It isn't an organization. It is in many ways mythology.
It's not like the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers, sort of defined terrorist organizations with leadership that leads violence.
It's not a highly organized movement. It's a moniker. It's not a unified group like the Proud Boys are.
Things like Antifa are things that are thought up.
It's all in this guise of going after Antifa, which is nothing. There's no organization called Antifa.
Nobody's a member of Antifa because it doesn't exist. They are just declaring into existence something that doesn't exist.
There is no Antifa organization, so maybe that's good for social media, but it really is non-existent.
They exist on the internet in chat rooms and in 4chan and Discord and places like that, where they run discussion boards, trade tactics, documents, things like that. But none of them are called
Yeah, none of them. Not a one at all. I wonder who those people are that are just peacefully protesting outside of the ICE facilities. The absurdity is, and for those who think that they don't exist, this is January 6th right here. This was the Rich Street. Wow. Now, at the end of that video, she said, delete that, because she noticed that someone was taking video. Must have been one of her people. I don't know, but she said, delete that. Those were people at January 6th changing into Trump clothes, Trump supporter clothes. Yeah, nothing to see here. This doesn't exist. Are you insane? This is the thing that I don't understand, why the Democrats think that coming out there and telling us something that we already know is true. For some reason, they think if they say it enough, that's not happening anymore. Okay? Yeah, that was Antifa changing into MAGA clothes. So I don't understand why they keep using the same exact thing that isn't working, hasn't been working, has literally helped thousands, probably millions. I'm going to say millions, because I mean, we know how many people are in the United States of America. It's I don't know, really close to like 400 million people in the United States. All right, so we had about 140 million people. I'm just rounding it off. About 140 million people voting in this last election. It might have even been more than that, because Donald Trump won, and supposedly Kamala Harris got 71 million. I highly doubt it, because if that's true, then that means that 4 in 10 are really that dumb. Okay. And I don't know about you, but I really have a hard time finding anyone that would vote for Kamala Harris or Joe Biden and admit it. So, I mean, there was not one Biden sign, not one Kamala Harris sign in all of the places that I traveled, with the exception of 2. And I don't mean 2 places. I mean 2 spots in the place where I went. So it's like, no, I don't think that there's 71 million people in the United States of America that would have voted for her or Joe Biden at either time. So because they continue to put out lie after lie after lie after lie, and it's like a continual stream, 24/7, 365, we're so jaded to it that when they actually say something that's true, we're like, what? What did you just say? And we can agree with that thing. But it's been years, 10 years of continuous lying that we now, it's like, you know, Chuck Schumer, you need to wear a clown hat. You need to put on your little nose. You need to have a little calliope in the back. One of your minions can play it while you come out and read your speech, because you can't speak extemporaneously. That's obvious. Okay. You have to have your little paper in front of you. It's the same thing. Did you see Hakeem Jeffries? Hakeem Jeffries screaming and yelling at a guy in the hallway because he said, how come you guys won't open the government? So January 6th was a whole farce in itself. Okay. That was totally ridiculous. There are many sides to the Capitol, 4 for sure. North, south, west. Okay. On one side were people who were instigators, FBI and Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Don't forget them. They were all there. We said that. I think I did that report a week, like a day or 2, but within the week. of January 6th itself, showing all kinds of, hi, Leanne, nice to see you. All kinds of video from people who were at January 6th and what was really going on. We had people analyzing all of the video that was coming from there, like the social media video. I don't care what the mainstream media says. I don't even care, because it's just one lie after a lie after lie after lie. In fact, Sandra, what's her name? Sandra Smith. She was challenging someone who was challenging the election. Oh, he was running free and fair. Shut up, Sandra Smith. You know, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it, because now I know that she is a Trump hater, as are most of them. We're better than you are. Okay, then how come you don't make so much money? We know what we're doing. Oh, really? Then how come you're not a billionaire? You know, you don't know anything about business. Really? He's a billionaire. What are you? Oh, you're a talking puppet for a mainstream news organization. So you decided to sell your soul so that you could spew a bunch of propaganda that's not even written by you. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but anchors don't write their own stuff most of the time. If they do, it'd probably be a bunch of gibberish. The only thing they do is they come in and they rewrite stuff. They don't say, well, I think I want to challenge this story. They don't do that. They are talking puppets. All they do, maybe they'll go over the script a little bit to make sure that it flows for their ability to speak, but they don't really write it. They just say it. And then when they do interviews and stuff, they have the questions already done for them. It's not like, if you think that these people are coming out with their own questions, you seriously don't know what's going on. I know, because I used to work for ABC News affiliate, so I know how it works. Now, when you're the lowly little local reporter, of course, you're doing your own stuff, but not these guys. There was not one time that the anchor came in ever, even at the lowly little station, ever came in and wrote their own stuff. Never. Once in a while, you get pushback from one of the prima donnas there. I don't want to read this story. But that was about it. You know, are you sure? I don't want to get out there and look like a fool. It's like, well, you already do that. You do that every day because you're just ridiculous. So that's the way it actually works. Talking puppets. Obama got rid of the Smith Act. I know. So now media is the propaganda arm of the government. Exactly. They can no longer tell you the truth. I should say they will no longer tell you the truth. They could, but they just won't do it. So the whole thing is completely ridiculous, completely rigged. I had friends that were at January 6th, and they got questioned by the Biden FBI, which we have since found out are a bunch of scum themselves. Hi, Tracy. Nice to see you. Yes, I am back. They got my channel back on. So that's amazing. That's amazing in itself. I just don't understand what it's going to take for some of these liberals to wake up. I saw a video this weekend from a guy who goes out. I think I want to say his name is Ken, but I don't remember what his name is. I should pay a little bit more attention to what his name is, because I do watch his videos every now and then. He goes out there on California streets, and a guy actually said, "Oh, I think Gavin Newsom is doing a fabulous job." It's like, what? There was also some people going out there, and to the people in Chicago, okay, to the people in Chicago, and saying that the ICE went in and they raided that apartment building. Remember, it was Tren de Aragua was occupying that building, terrorizing the people inside of it. ICE went in, got all the people out, and then sorted out who were the ones that they needed to deport. Now, I watched a woman say that there were babies in handcuffs. Yeah, news scum for sure. There were no babies in handcuffs. There were children in zip ties because, they didn't have enough handcuffs to go around. Yes, you are correct, DCL. I wish I had something to give you. James Klug, that is the guy. I watch him every now and then. I think he's very smart. But this other guy, and I can't remember his name either. I think his name is Cam. I don't know his last name. The people were actually saying that they thought that was unfair. Now, I didn't hear Cam say, well, Trinidad Aragua was the one that was occupying the building and they were terrorizing their neighbors. And the neighbors called in, and because, they did. And ICE swatted the building and got them all sorted out. So would you prefer to have those people terrorized by Trinidad Aragua or detained for a little while? I think detained for a little while is fine, because I know when you're doing undercover stuff. Yes, DCL, you are smart. Cam Higbee. That's the guy. Hey, nice to see you too. Cam Higbee, and I'm going to put James Klug up there. So maybe sometimes, if you see it, you'll remember it. Anyway, they have great YouTube channels, and they go out there on the streets. I used to do that stuff when I was young. They go out there and they interview people and they ask them just regular questions. And these people cannot justify their positions, none of them. And if they don't like that subject, they try to switch to the next one. If they don't like that one, then they try to switch to the next one, and they try to turn it back on you. And they continually go to how Donald Trump is the problem. And Donald Trump is not the one who is breaking the law. It's those guys are breaking the law. And just like Pam Bondi said in the hearing the other day, she literally schooled the senators who are trying to grill her. And she told them, look, Senator Durbin, if you can't keep the people in your state and district safe, then President Trump is going to do it for you. Because I don't see you back there doing it. I don't see the people. I don't see JB Pritzker doing it. Do you see him? Do you see him out there keeping his people safe? What about Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago? Is he keeping people safe? No, he's not. So when those two people have abdicated their position, it is absolutely where the president has to go in and do something about it. He can't forsake those people just to make sure that Brandon, who has 150 cops on his security detail, and JB Pritzker also has security, because you and I, remember, we're peasants. We don't get security. Keep those two happy while all the rest of the thing goes to hell. Now, Charlie Kirk was doing some kind of a debate too, and I watched this morning. He was talking about the fact that these people have abdicated their position, and that it is very important for the president of the United States to get involved when they've abdicated their position. He said, you don't have to apologize for that. And I don't think you do have to apologize for that. Democrats don't show you that the people on the streets are actually saying, thank you, President Trump, for coming over here and cleaning this up. Because Brandon Johnson isn't doing it. JB Pritzker isn't doing it. He also pointed out, Charlie Kirk also pointed out, that every single one of these Democrat cities that have high crime are because of the hands-off policy and how the judges are just letting these criminals go. We've had criminals go with 96 arrests for violent crimes. They've been in jail 96 times. We've had 36 times, 38 times, 40 some odd times, 50 times. And the judges just keep letting them go. Now, according to that one that was being interviewed by, I think it was James Klug, but it might have been Cam Higbee. She was literally sitting there and saying how How dare you put these innocent children in jail, in prison? How dare you separate children from their families? Not taking into consideration the fact that most of the kids that came across that border during the Biden administration were unaccompanied minors that were being trafficked through Mexico. 400,000 of them, 300,000 of them were lost. 300 out of 400,000 children trafficked across the border. 300,000 under Biden were lost. This whole entire scam thing with the election and January 6th was designed to take over the government. It was a coup. And because we called them on it, they tried to censor all of us and ban us from saying the things that we knew were true, from showing you the video of the things that we knew were true. Because you know what? One thing that the American people don't do, I don't care what side you're on, all of them. When they're doing their TikTok stuff, I'm not talking about their opinions. I'm talking about when they're at an event and they're showing what's going on. They're actually telling you the truth right there from their point of view. They're saying, here, I'm at the such and whatever, and this is what's happening. The regular guy on the street is posting that to social media. Now, not all of them are influencers. Lots of them are just saying, hey, you know what? This is a little disturbing to me, and I think I need to put it on social media. Or they're saying, this is a great thing, and I want to put it on social media so all the people can enjoy it. Or I need to tell all the people about this. Corruption motivates the people to do something about it. And this is what the Democrats are ignoring. They're completely overriding the experiences that the American people are having because they're trying to pretend as if we don't know what's happening right in front of our eyes. I am so sick and tired of it. I am so sick and tired of them treating us like we're the peasants and that they have all power over us, because the only power that they have is what we, the American people, have given them. So it's time for us to take back our power and say, no, we're not doing that. You know, we're going to call you out, and we're going to keep calling you out. And I think you guys need to show up for the meetings, whatever they are, local, state. You can go to the state, you can go up to your capital, and you can say, I want to testify on this particular thing. You don't have to be a fancy orator. You could actually take a piece of paper and write out what you want to say and say, I have a statement that I want to read. In any of those committees, you can do it. All you have to do is sign up and show up. You can organize people to go to the state capitol and say, we got a group of people right here who want to talk about mortgage fraud. We got a lot of people right here who want to talk about the election thing. We got a lot of people here who want to talk about child trafficking, whatever it is that you want to talk about. You can go to your state capitol and do that. You can go to your local meeting and do that. All you have to do is sign up, write it out. You might be scared to death, but you know what? After you do it the first time, it gets easier and easier and easier. Ordinary people like you and I can show up and we can say something, but no one's going to do it for you. You're going to have to do it for yourself. So I hope you guys will join me, spread around my channel. Make sure that if you were subscribed to my channel, make sure you get all the notifications, because you're going to have to hit that bell. Most likely you're going to have to hit it again because it's been over a year that my channel was banned. So I'm trying to remedy that situation and bring you some good content again. And almost every week I'm hoping to have a guest. That's the plan, unless something pertinent is happening. So join me tomorrow right back here on America Matters Radio Show.